And so once you get done with that discovery call, ideally, we have gotten to know each other. We've built a level of trust between one another. And ultimately, you're ready to onboard with us. And onboarding is essentially the process of coming on board, paying your onboarding fee, which encompasses a ton of really great things that we offer during the onboarding process. So design is encompassed in that. And we do in-house design to make sure that your design reflects the way that we build. It alleviates a ton of problems during the construction process when you build a Barndo. And we'll go through design. We also spec with you so you can pick all of your finishes. We walk you through. And again, that's all in-house. So we've created all these really great design centers in a location nearest you. So you can come in, it's really relaxed. We spend a ton of time one-on-one with you. And then we give you a formal proposal. It encompasses all the costs that you're going to incur when building. We talk about a lot of costs that you as the consumer probably have not thought of. And then we send you into finance. And finance, again, we've got some really great in-house lenders that we trust, that we've worked with and partnered with, that you're not going to run into some of the horror stories you hear from consumers about, going halfway through the process with a lender and then, oh man, we don't build barndominiums. We don't finance barndominiums. So We've taken care of all that. We've partnered with preferred lenders. There are great incentives that are encompassed in that too. And then you get through the finance process, and then we move into production.
It's so much that goes into the front end to where a lot of people feel like, hey, I'm going to pay this onboarding fee, and then how soon before we break ground? Mm-hmm. And so kind of leaning into that, I think you did a good job breaking down all the aspects because, again, it's a global strategy to get this, accomplished. And during that process, we're laying the framework for you to build it, but we're also putting the ball in your court to whether or not you're going to choose to use us as your builder. So you're still in control of that conversation all the way through the onboarding process. And our goal is that experience, presented in a way to where you elect to build with us.
Yep.
And some of that is qualifying you as a client. So, we're trying to make sure that we got the best fit because it's a team to get to the finish line. But timeline, I call up and I onboard. What does the timeline look like from that moment to getting to the finance window? So went through the whole thing, the proposal came back, we signed a contract, you sent it to my lender. What is that initial timeline?
So it varies a little bit. If you go with one of our stock plans that are on our website, we're super familiar with, we build these in 4 states all over. A lot of those are fan favorites. And so timeline, if you go that route versus completely custom, you're looking at anywhere from 30 to 90 days. And a lot of people are a little shocked by the front end time that you spend. But I always tell people that front end is heavy on time, but it alleviates all the stress that most people go through when they're building custom because it's an emotional roller coaster of still making tons of selections. And there's a lot of ups and downs to the production side of it. We handle it all on the front end, and it's really ultimately stress-free during the building process because all of your selections have been made. All of your costs are counted for.
So says the sales director. I'm going to have to interview Nick, and then we're going to find out how stress-free it is. But no,
his stresses are a little different than mine.
No, you're good.
But ultimately, though, that front-end process is super important because you've made a lot of the really stressful decisions that you would typically be making through an entire build process. So roughly about 90 days.
Well, and again, this is an evolution of our own practices because, in the beginning, we weren't this thorough.
Right.
We did not have a very thorough process of how we come in and make selections. And it's, you learn from what went wrong. So you treat it case by case. And sometimes it's just a one-off. Sometimes it's a client, but a lot of times it's just the process. And so you learn how to better communicate, better navigate, and prepare for a better, destination.
Yep.
And so in doing that, it's a constant evolution of improvement.
Always growing.
That's right. It's always there. That's the staples of the core value. So, but in doing that, if you come in now, a lot of people don't understand during that onboarding, during that proposal crafting, you're picking everything in your home down to the color of the walls.
Yep.
And so, there is a little bit of a time deal there, but it's so much easier than it is mid-construction.
Yep.
and it avoids the 4-letter word in construction, change order, right? And so we're trying to prevent that. We're trying to keep you in a fixed price agreement because, I mean, that's one huge benefit of how we operate.
It
is we don't do a cost plus method. We don't go into it saying, hey, look, this is going to be close to where you are. But at the end of the day, we're going to tally up the receipts and you're going to pay me this as a builder percentage. And, we land where we land, because at that point in time, the only person with a guarantee is the builder and the client's assuming some risk. What we like to do is assume a majority of that risk and offer you a fixed rate. But to do it and really be able to deliver, you have to spend time doing these things.
It's a lot of time up front.